Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
So, Betty, you have a wonderful guest, I understand, who has lots to tell us about the JC Tonic. Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. My guest tonight is Kevin, and Kevin comes from the beautiful state of Virginia, and he placed his first order actually back in June. He took advantage of the special for 6 bottles, and then again he placed another order previously to, during the summertime, and he's going to be placing another order for 6 bottles, so Virginia is horse country, and I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be 16 bottles in the last couple of months you've ordered. I wonder if you're getting it out to some of those thoroughbreds that are on the racetrack, because they would be drinking a lot of this tonic, and their owners would be pretty rich by now, giving it to their horses, that's for sure.
And it's totally natural, so it would work out fine. Yeah,
exactly.
It would definitely work out.
Can take them off the drugs that they're using at all the racetracks right now and just give them the tonic, and away they go.
So just to fill it in, I know there's quite a bit of consumption there, but I had sent 6 down to my father. I wanted him to try it. Oh, my dad's 86 now, and he has a bout with dementia. So there are times when he forgets things. Funny is really weird. Funny is the word I should say. My brother was Jesse down there too, who had a lot. He's had a lot of little health issues. He's not overweight. He's very slim, but has a bad diet. Has always had a bad diet. So I said, hey, this is the dad. Make sure you give it to him. We'll take him. Give him a capful, and you take a capful. So they did that for like 10 days. And first it was like, oh, it tastes funny. Don't worry about it. Try it tomorrow, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that's my brother, and he's like, it seems like I have some energy. Does it work that quick? I said, I don't know. I was like, each person's different. I was like, but how's Dad? And he's like, he just smiles, takes it, and goes about his business. So my brother went back home, and my dad's still down there, and the person that helps him out was like, is your father supposed to take this? I'm like, yeah, it's just fine. It's a natural liquid. This guy has too much energy now. Like, he's always going around. He's not supposed to cut the lawn. Now he wants to cut the lawn.
Oh.
He's not supposed to climb ladders, and now he's climbing ladders. So it's a two-edged sword. Like, he's got more activity, but like how from to contain this activity is the tough part. Yeah, the thing I love about it, but he's vibrant now. He's not feeling down. He's feeling upbeat, and so that's where that 6 went. But in my case, where I can speak more to it, because
Kevin, may I interrupt just before you were talking just now about your brother? And your father's 86, and he has starting to get dementia.
Correct.
There is an incredible success story audio that Betty will send you. This fellow, Jimmy, he was 79 years old, and he told us he had full-blown Alzheimer's. He said when someone gave him a phone number, when they gave him the second number of the phone number, he had already forgotten the first. That's how bad it was. And he's on this call. He sounds like a youngster, and he is going on about how you can just tell his mind is perfect. He's like 25 years younger already. So try and share that with your family or whoever is looking after your dad, and let them understand that there is a possibility that this can change things. It may not get as good as Jimmy with his total reversal, but what if it improves 10, 20, 50%? I mean, it's like a new person,
Yeah, that would really be amazing if it could happen.
Yeah, Anthony, don't forget about our friend who's been on a few times, Jacinto and Consuelo.
Oh, yeah, that too.
He had Alzheimer's. He was actually in a healthcare facility, and because the wife couldn't take care of him anymore, and taking the JC Tonic, he turned right around. He was in a wheelchair.
Now he dances.
And And we have him on video dancing with his wife, and now he's
so
back
can I ask you,
again.
how much did they take daily? Like,
he was only
taking
an ounce. Yeah, he was just taking an ounce, and the last.
So is that one capful twice a day, or is that one capful a day?
He was only doing one cap a day when all this turnaround came about. And the last time I was talking to his wife, I said, "You got to get him on like 2 or 3. You know, you're going to notice even more things happen."
And the case of the other fellow we talked about, I think he did about 4 ounces for about 7-8 months. So it varies depending on how you are in general, what your general health is, and how much the body has to do to bring itself back to some kind of balance. So it varies with everybody, and it'll be anywhere from an ounce to 3 or 4 ounces a day, which would be recommended to take more sort of to get you over the hump. But as Betty just said, this other fellow, he took an ounce and he's out of the wheelchair. So, it's hard to know. You start everybody with the ounce, and within a week or so, if nothing much happens, go to 2 ounces, and wait and see a week or so. If nothing much happens, go to 3. And it starts to kick in, and then it goes much faster when you take more, and then you back off and go back down to your regular 1 ounce when you're feeling much better, So it's hard to give guidance exact. It's all trial and error,
Copy that, and that's great. That's great information. And I don't know if my dad's still taking it because the bottles are still down there at his place, but I'd have to check on that. I know.
Well, is someone looking after your dad, or is he on his own?
Someone is looking after him. Yeah, they come in and help him in the morning with meds, so I can have them administer that to him.
But it has to be regular, and it has to be every day, and it should start with an ounce for the first week or so, and start seeing if there's some changes. I don't know how close you are to the people who are helping him, but you probably have to get closer and make sure that they let you know every day, all of a sudden he seems to be more perky, or whatever the change is, and that'll tell you whether you should tell him to up the dose twice a day, and that's important to get the body starting to turn around. But they will see, or anybody will see, if they're opening their eyes, a change in him, after 3 days.
Okay, we'll run that sampling and see how that works, because, the person that helps is a very nice and caring individual. Perfect. And we really lucked out on that. We're blessed in that aspect that she's concerned more about his well-being. He's in that point where he's processing, like, I don't want anybody to say I owe anything, or I don't want to have any confusion, but at the same time, because that's how he's processing, like he believes he did.
Well, those are the signs that you'll see if there's a change. You will see those kind of things change, and you'll know right away that it's working. But it'll work. We don't know what totally, 50%, but whatever it is.
That'll be great. So maybe I'll join the distributor then, if that's the case.
Kevin, you can always do a live blood test too before starting the JC Tonic, and go back in 3 months, and you'll see actual clinical results in your blood work. And your blood will change from a very, very dark kind of purpley color. That means it's loaded with toxins, and your blood will start to change to a really nice bright red. So
it gets cleaner and cleaner as you go along,
Yeah.
So what do they catch? Is it more oxygen in the blood? What exactly would they notice, or would I notice? Like, hey, what was my oxygen level before and then after? Like, what could I compare it to?
Anthony, you've had that live blood test in the past yourself?
A live blood test, yeah, but that doesn't measure the oxygenation. But indeed, Kevin, depending on your diet, depending on your lifestyle, unfortunately in America, the diet is pretty crummy in most cases. And even if you go to restaurants, even better restaurants, they all use processed, taste-enhancing gravies that are made in a factory somewhere, who knows, maybe in China, for Pete's sakes,
Exactly. Or overwhelmed with sodium, too. Yeah, there's a lot of
you say, wow, that was really great. But afterwards, in my case, my digestive system is so intact that I start to burp and feel queasy no matter what you paid for the meal. So it's very difficult in this country. And if you have a good diet, then maybe your oxygenation is better because your blood is cleaner. But that's one of the things that starts to happen right away. And some people, they have a reaction to more energy in a day, in an hour, in 2 days. It all depends. I don't know what your experience was in that regard, but you should be able to have more more energy, more strength, more alertness, better focus. And if not, go to 2 ounces a day, because somewhere along the way you need it a little bit more to get it to kick in. I don't know, again, what that answer is. So if you have any kind of health issues, sugar in your blood, blood pressure and so on, take more.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I can think to in pre-COVID or earlier this year was I was pretty much told to watch my blood pressure, but I was in denial. Like, I don't necessarily believe that the doctors were giving me anything to cure it. They were just, setting me up to be another candidate for the pharmacy wheel. And I was like, I refused that. That's why I started taking the JC Tonic. But my blood pressure has never been an issue before. So I've gone into the doctors and it's been high. And I'm like, that's because I'm nervous.
But they don't cure anything that I can think of off the top of my head. They certainly don't cure high blood pressure, because they keep you on the blood pressure medication for 30, 40 years till you die. So it's not curing, it maintains it, and they're able to do that. Same with the sugar in the blood, same with thyroid issues, whatever the drug is. And I talk to people all day long, and I have been for 50 years, and the horror stories are amazing. They're taking 2, 3, 4, 14 drugs, and their body doesn't know which way to go, but they're staying alive. But cure, I haven't heard too many things from the way medicine is practiced that cured. We don't cure anything either.
Why do you say that? Sorry to cut you off. Why do you say that, Anthony? Because I got on this 10 micrograms of whatever it was to keep your blood pressure down. Did that for like 30, 45 days, like 2 cycles, maybe 60 days, and went back and nothing changed. And I was monitoring my blood pressure. So I said, I'm not taking this anymore. And they're like, sir, you have to take it. And I was like, no, I don't. I was like, either I drop a bunch of weight or you guys give me some sort of dietary stuff. You give me alternatives. I'm not taking any more medicine because it's not doing anything for me, probably besides killing my kidney. And I was like, I'm not taking it anymore. And sure enough, I stopped taking it, did my own therapeutic work and walked and monitored my diet, cut back on sodium, removed cheese. I didn't eat pork anyway. So, certain things in my diet, cut back on red meat anyway, because I just felt like being healthier, especially with the current COVID environment where you're not out as much. So I was like, well, I don't need this. Let me cut back on it. And everything in moderation, of course. And then I checked my blood pressure recently and it's dropped. I think I was 148 or 158 over 90. And the last time I checked, it was like 122 over 74 or something like that.
In our case, when a blood pressure goes down, it's not because this tonic is pushing the blood pressure down. It has nothing to do with that. This preparation actually regenerates the body, makes it get back to a place where it used to be when you did not have the high blood pressure or the high sugar or the high everything. And it does it through chemical reactions through the blood to the purification, detoxification, and the oxygenation. It goes through the body and it goes through the organs and it goes through the systems, cleaning up and doing what it used to do maybe when you were 30. So that's why everybody's looking and feeling younger, because the body actually gets younger. But this is not a cure for blood pressure. The body looks after that like it used to look after it before you had high blood pressure.
And that's the mistake people are making, because they're thinking that it's going to change. But your body can naturally heal. The same way you cut yourself and, a Band-Aid so you're not bleeding on anybody, but how your body naturally heals. That was when you were younger, it did it all the time. And we get to a certain age where we're no longer relying on the body to heal itself or to repair itself. And you have to ask yourself, why? What am I doing? What am I blocking the body from doing? So you take a medicine to do certain things, and then you take another medicine to do the opposite. And it's like one brings you up, one brings you down, or you're depressed. So you take something to rise you up, and then you're too high. You need something to bring you back down. It's like, no, do it naturally. Get back to a natural environment. And that's where I've evolved over the last 6-7 months. Now I'm at a different point where I'm like, let my body heal naturally. The other day, one of my friends said to me, and we shared this, it's really weird. They sat down, we had lunch, and I don't know how we got on topic, but they just started talking about health. And one guy was always super healthy, and he's like, yeah, I got this. I can't drink this anymore. Have these reactions. And I was like, what? No, it's impossible. Like, you always a star athlete. Basically telling us that he's on these meds now, and they were like, what are you on? And I was like, since I started JC Tonic up, I was like, well, I take vitamins every once in a while, but I take this JC Tonic. I was like, I'm not on any meds. They're like, you don't have any high blood pressure? I said, the doctor thinks or thought I had high blood pressure, but I know I don't. I was like, I'm a little out of shape. I'm conscious with that. I was like, but guys, this medicine is probably affecting the other. I was like, and the key thing that we've been dummied down to is the word side effects. These medicines have side effects. We got a little bit deeper. I was like, think about the cure for the flu. When they said that the success rate, I think, was like, 28%? And I was like, think about that. 100 people take it, 28 will get over it by this medicine, and the remainder won't. I was like, it works the same way. Like, modern medicine has like I think it's a 30% threshold where the people that take it, 30% of them will get back to a healthier status, for whatever reason, and the remainder is good luck. So they were looking at me like, you're not on any medicine. I was like, no. I'm taking the JC Tonic now to make sure I don't have to get on those pills or have to get anything else. And also my energy levels. So I had taken it initially because I wasn't sleeping well. And I was like, am I restless?
Are you sleeping well now?
Oh my gosh, my dreams are vivid. I get all my dreams I wake up clearer. The only thing that's weird now is, and I have to be honest, is because I've converted my schedule more to a night owl schedule versus when I was going to work early in the morning, like going on to site to my job. But now we work from home, so I have more flexibility. I can work later, and I process more at night for some reason. My frequency works better at night, I think. So yeah, my dreams, they're amazing. They're vivid. I'm rested.
So you have a new job now. You're in Hollywood making movies.
I should. My creativity is definitely higher.
There we are.
So I've always had that ideas about how to make a movie so much better, or even reading certain books, and I'm like, that was a terrible ending.
And now you know how to do it. Look at you. That's exactly, Kevin, what I was saying a little earlier. We things change in our life from the JC Tonic, and so many people don't even realize it. Their fingernails are growing stronger and are harder, and they have to cut them more often, and they don't even think of that because it creeps up on them. The digestive system gets back into shape. They sleep better. They poop better. And when you ask them, so what did the JC Tonic do? Well, I don't know what it did. Let me see now. And all these things are so obviously part of good health. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's exactly what a lot of people have to hear. If they start the tonic like you did, all these little things will start improving and just make life that much better. This is apart from any serious thing they may have.
Yeah, what's amazing is that I never processed that my fingernails and my toenails, the rate that they've been growing lately. And I just thought, I was like, oh, maybe it changes the seasons. I couldn't understand. And now it's making sense because I was like, I just cut them. Why are they growing again?
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
It's a sign of good health if your hair grows faster, your nails grow faster. It's just another sign of good health. And it's amazing how many people had cracked and broken fingernails, and they're like perfect now. We have a success story. Somebody had warts on their hand for like 15 years and burnt them off every year, and it was painful, and it was still. They were afraid to even show their hand. They were on the tonic for, I don't know, Betty, that's another person Betty has been helping. All of a sudden, they wake up one day, there's no warts. I mean, it's like, because the body will fix itself no matter what. It's capable of it.
It's capable. Something else that popped up, Anthony, was that I'd wake up mostly in the summer, and my eyes or my vision was like cloudy. And I had to rub my eyes, and I'd throw water in it still, and I had to rub them for a while, or even put eye drops in to try to clear up this vision. In the morning, never failed, every morning, and I just upped my my dose. I take 2 capsules, take one in the AM and one before I go to sleep. And that cloudiness is gone. And I just thought about it. Before I got on the call, I was like, well, what was it? Why did I get on? I said, oh, yeah, I remember my eyes. My back was a little weird, but I think that's just because I was slouching a lot, and I get my posture right, and I don't know if that necessarily plays into it, but just my body being able to react. And those are the pluses. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, I used to get these cold sores on my lips, like the symptom one from like I was a little kid. Like, I don't know. It's not related to anything promiscuous. It was like from being a little kid. I don't know if someone had it and kissed me and passed it on to me. However, that virus was pushed on to me. And I think it was like stress-induced. When I would get stressed, they would pop up, like a blister would come up. And sometimes they were hidden, but I'd feel a sensation before that would happen. And it's a little personal, but I'm okay with it. So the sensation would happen on my lips. Nowhere else, just around on my face. And I was growing a beard, so it would hide it for a while. I haven't had any of those outbreaks. And let's say that's another reason why I was taking it, because when Betty mentioned oxidation in your blood, and I was like, well, that I've been reading stuff, and it's like something in your central nervous system that affects it, and white blood cells and red blood, and it just got a little too complicated for me. And I was like, well, oxidation means that it's working better in the sense that my blood is going to be pure and cleaner, so my body will do the repair work. And lately, as the weather is changing into the fall and into now the allergies may set up, and there's a little congestion going on, and I don't know what it is or isn't. So my body's working a little bit harder. Like, okay, the temperatures drop, and we have to work a little bit harder. You might get you sick, and you didn't have a hat on, whatever it is mentally. So I would expect one of these to pop up. And I was feeling for like the last 2 weeks a surge, but nothing came up. And I just upped my dose to 2 capsules, one the more what I get. And it's subsided, although my lips do feel a little weird. So I just thought it was chapped lips or nothing. So now I'm a little paranoid. But the outbreak, it's not there anymore. And I don't know if it's the body's fine. Or if that's what I have to take for the rest of my life, I'd rather do that than pop a pill to, lessen the frequency or lessen, it's still coming up, but you only have it for 4 or 5 days. I'm not getting these outbreaks.
Well, if you continue drinking it, even only an ounce a day for the next 30 years until you're my age, you will exactly experience that. You will not go to the doctor as often or anymore. You will feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll grow old slower. You will look younger. You will start to look younger even now, and you will continue to look younger, more youthful than your years. And that's simply because it continuously maintains and cleans up the body and keeps the blood in good shape. And so the body keeps doing all those wonderful things that it does in a healthy body. And watch and see. If you do that, it'll be the least costly health insurance you'll ever get.
Love it.
Anyway, you're going to start sharing this with everybody, and Betty's going to explain to you on another call exactly how you can do this and share it and end up drinking free. At least that. We don't explain to our ambassadors of health, that's our distributors, how to make $10,000 a minute. We explain to them how to drink their own JC Tonic free. And by the time they're drinking free, it means they have enough customers that are contributing commissions so they can pay for their 4, 5, 6 bottles a month for them and their family. And believe me, by that time, you will have a business without even having a business. And that's what we train people to do. Share it, make sure you're helping people, save a life, and all of a sudden you're drinking free. And then you decide if you want to do it big time, then we'll show you how,
What's the initial, what's the buy-in?
$10 million.
Yeah.
How much?
10 million.
Yeah.
10 million? You take pesos?
No, probably 10 million Zimbabwe dollars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I think I have a couple of those.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody does. It's not very much. It's $347 plus shipping, and that includes 4 bottles of JC Tonic plus a whole lot of other stuff. So it's not like paying to buy in; it's paying for product. And we want people to have product on hand. If they're going to be a distributor, they need something to distribute. So
yeah,
it's
but
as
the
simple as that.
The best thing is, Kevin, you get a free website, which is belongs to you. People can go to your website. They can check out the information. They can order on your website. And,
Okay.
so there's all kinds of bonuses and commissions. But, yeah, really bottom line is helping people and animals get better.
So the first thing is for you to drink it as you are, continue getting those experiences, start sharing it with your dad and a few close friends, and you'll see the change in them, and get them to start ordering. As I said, Betty will walk you through all that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to become a distributor yet. You can start earning some commissions even without being a distributor, because all we want is people to share it, pay it forward. When they feel better, tell somebody so they can feel better too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really simple.
That sounds
Let
great.
the product do its work. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
Anything else?
I like that.
Anything else you wanted to share from the point of view of the tonic?
No, sir. Well, other than I'm very thankful that it was introduced to me, and I took the leap of faith in saying, "Hey, why not try it?" And if not, then we'll know. Versus the alternative is like staying on, becoming a big pharma product or test case. That's the best word. A big pharma test case, and I don't want that. Never wanted that. And
well, in this tonic, there has been few people, if any, in all these years, that haven't had some kind of a positive benefit on the first bottle. Anything to tell them, hey, I'm not sure what's going on, but I feel better. You don't have to have a take up thy mattress and walk event. You just have to, all of a sudden, you feel better. Something is good about it, and that allows you to continue, and then you just start getting better and better. So obviously that's happened to you, and it'll just continue to get better and better.
Yeah, and Kevin, you don't want to be a guinea pig, but you want to give it to your guinea pig.
That's it. And when you have animals, the best way is just put some in their drinking water, and they lap it up so they get their fair measure as well.
Let me ask you a question. I have a friend that is starting not quite a puppy mill, but she's going to start selling puppies, or she has, like they're in that growth stage now, and she has her own dog. And she's always concerned about her own dog, and now the puppies, I guess, now that they're around, but also her own health, because she has she gets through these lonely bouts, and I'm always concerned about her health, and she gets kind of a little depressed and stops talking to people for a little while. Matter of fact, I have to call her after this call. But I'm wondering, would that help, or would the puppies be too young to take it? And I know her older dog her actual dog it's a small little dog. It's like 4 or 5.
As soon as they're drinking water from the bowl, that's time enough. And I mean, I just put a capful in the dog bowl water. The bowl for the water for the dog, it holds about a gallon. So I just put a capful in. And every time fill it up, put a capful in. And the cat drinks from that, the dog drinks from that. That's the easiest way. So the puppies will drink from it, and they'll get a little measure. It'll be very minute quantities, but they don't need much. And little by little, they'll have a lot less problems as they grow older,
Yeah, I'll tell you how I give it to my two, because I have a shepherd and a border collie. And I'm constantly changing their water. So my guys take it in milk at night. I give them a little bowl of milk, and they love it. And your friend, I mean, if the female dog is nursing her babies, give it to the female dog, because then they're getting it, when they're feeding off their mom.
Oh, okay.
And the same with the person, if a mom is pregnant and she has her baby, they get it out of the breast milk until they're a little older and they can take it on their own.
Very nice.
Yeah. The same for children. Make sure you give it to any women that are contemplating pregnancy, because they'll have a much, much easier time of the pregnancy. It'll be easier. They will have less or no morning sickness. They will have more energy. They will not feel out of sorts. They'll have a better weight control, on and on and on and on. And after the child is born, it cries less, it sleeps better, it's less agitated and irritated. It just goes on and on and on. Every time we have anybody who does go through that, they report, and it's the same story. They've had a much better pregnancy and a much better birth and a much better childhood for the youngster as it grows up than one's not on the JC.
Yeah, we have a lot of mothers who say colic. Their babies have colic, so it'll really help. And our Helena Skin Rejuvenator, a lot of moms use it for their babies' little bottoms because they get bad rashes and things. So Helena is another great product that is used for many, many different things. But a lot of them use it for their babies.
So one other question for you, regards to a newbie starting on JC Tonic, do you recommend one full cap and that's it for the day, or two half caps to equal one for the day, like one in the morning and one in the afternoon, or one half caps? I mean, for a newbie, or just one full cap in the morning and with a meal the day.
Again, it'll depend on, say, somebody like your dad that has a few problems and is older. Yeah. Maybe the half cap is better, and the half cap later is better. If the person is like yourself and there's, a few little problems here and there, one cap is fine. But some people take a cap and they have a buzz immediately on the first cap full. And that, of course, has to do with the healing crisis that Betty will or has already spoken to you about. And that's the thing that you have to make sure you talk up front with people when you're offering them the JC. But
gosh, my brother had that. He said he had a buzz taking it the first time.
Oh, you see, so and maybe 10% of the people report that. This gets into the bloodstream as soon as it's in the palate, under the tongue. It starts getting into the bloodstream. In 15 minutes you could have a buzz, and people say, "Holy cow! What is in this stuff?" Well, they have
so what does that
know
mean when you get the buzz? What does that mean?
About that healing. It's a healing process,
Oh my goodness! You've never mentioned that to me, or I've never spoken on that. You did say that. And he told me he had a buzz the first time he took it. He was like, "Hey, man, what's in this? Is this alcohol?" I had a buzz. I was like,
"Yeah,
you
that's
of all
it."
People.
Some people figure it's got booze in it or something.
Yeah.
I was like, "No." I was like, "Maybe your body's like thirsty for something good." I was messing with him. I was like, "It's finally something good."
But that's a good point to bring up. I'm glad you did, and it's going to be good on this call to have that covered. It's all those little things that we don't think of talking to people about, but that really should be mentioned when you get a person started on it. And that we refer to as the healing crisis, and you've probably listened to the audio tape by Dr. Bruce Fife. If not, listen to it. It's really good, and it's useful to pass along to everybody that you get drinking the tonic.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, Kevin, every person is different, could be age, could be medication, whatever, but I'm always cautioning in, telling them, take a little food first thing in the morning, make sure you do it 2 hours apart from your meds. And
how many hours? 2 hours apart from meds, did you say?
2 hours apart from any medication, yeah. And, be consistent, of course, with it. You have to do that. But, I always try to start people off very slow for the first few days because I really don't want them to have any type of healing crisis going on. Because if you're not there to follow up with them, I'm always there to help them out. But if somebody doesn't, then they might go off the tonic and say, "Oh my gosh, it gave me a headache, or I felt a little queasy, or I got a bit of diarrhea." So I always try to start them off very, very slowly and work their way up to it. But honest to God, I've had some people, I've been very specific, half an ounce in the morning, half an ounce at night. And I'll call them a day or two later. I say, "How are you doing?" And they said, "Wow, right away I felt results." And I said, "Oh, just with half a cap?" And they'll say, "No, I took 4 ounces right away." I was like, "Oh my God." So you really don't know, sometimes how people are, they just want to get rid of something, if they're suffering with some dire illness, they're just lapping it up to try to get rid of it quicker. But
And on the medication end of it, Kevin, it's good to know. We say 2 hours before or 2 hours after. It's always good to tell people the why, and the why of that is simply that those medications are really, really strong. So it takes when you take one of those meds, it takes about an hour to dissolve in the digestive system, and then about another hour to dissipate throughout the body. So it's weak by then. But if you take it at the same time and you got the tonic trying to do its balancing act, and this stuff is shoving and pushing and blasting the body in every which way, the tonic will be totally wasted. So it's not because this affects the med, it's because the med affects this.
Okay. So so you said the tonic would be diluted after? It would be if we took it before, if they took it before the 2 hours?
Well, before or 2 hours before or 2 hours after, because 2 hours before the tonic has its chance to get through the body and weaken and dissipate through the body. So when you take the med, it's not going to affect the JC tonic, and the same if you did it afterwards for the same reason,
Okay.
So just as a good measure, do it, 2 hours before, 2 hours later.
Yep.
Got it.
All righty.
All right.
So we've covered an awful lot, and this phone call, I don't know if we'll even be allowed to play it because it's so long.
yeah, you got a chatter today. I'm sorry. I've been up all running around. I was telling Betty I had some errands to do, and that got me going to doing one thing to another, and like any free time I have, I've been running. So yeah, and plus I've been taking JC Tonic. I told you I'm a little more of a chatterbox now. I mean, I've always been a bit vocal, but now like I said, I'm vibrant. I have a lot going on, and I want to share.
Well, you've covered a lot of really great points here of what's happened to you and your body, and that is another thing. If you're more chatty, it means because you're more perky up. You're more alive. Your brain is in overdrive, and those are all good things for life in general, for studies, for research, for the ones that do the midnight shift. All these kinds of things people will see that they're better off drinking the tonic. And so I'm glad that you did bring all those things up. It is a little long. We try and hone it down so that people just tell their story of what exactly it is. But we have a lot of patient listeners who will pick out of this call all the good stuff. And so it was really good, and we thank you for it, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
You for having me.
Keep in mind for doing the call, you're going to get a free bottle of the JC Tonic. So if you'd like to get your order into me in the next day or two before the special runs out, we'll add another bottle.
Yeah, it'll go to the that's it.
Yeah, let's talk tomorrow after this call's over. And
okay, perfect.
Tomorrow we can take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin, I appreciate you, and thanks very much for joining us. We have a great legacy to continue, and we still have, I think, 7,900,999,000 people still to talk to about.
Well, that's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. That sounds great. Looking forward to meeting all of them.
Right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, Anthony, Betty, thank you for having for talking with me and allowing me to share. And I look forward to talking with you guys soon.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. So everybody, hello again, because this call is like, there's just so many things that will affect all of you in general. There's stuff in here for everyone, and I wanted to make sure that we played this call in its entirety so that you can replay it and make note, because it affects so many people because of what this fellow went through with his dad and himself and his friend and so on. And all of this, I have to tell you, all you new folks on the call, they call me the Tonic Man. And I'm called the Tonic Man because this is probably it is the only whole body tonic in the world. And that for the last, 75 plus years, since 1943 when my dad first began to commercialize it. Can you believe that? And it's called a whole body tonic because it addresses the whole body. It's not just for the kidney, the liver, the joint, the this. You know, when you hear products, they're sold for this or that. This one covers everything. And if you want to go to the website, go and read what Daniel Mowry, PhD, says about what a whole body tonic has to do in order to entitle it to be called a whole body tonic. And you'll see what he said. Now, this fellow wrote a book called Herbal Tonic Therapies about these wonderful, super, incredible, miraculous tonic herbs. And that's because they can drive a system in both directions. So if your system's out of balance, thyroidism is a good example because there's hypo and there's hyper. So suppose it's hypo and you're driving the system towards the center. Well, most herbs don't understand when to stop, so they'll drive it past the center into the other direction, whereas in a tonic herb, there's another set of constituents that kicks in and halts it and starts to do the balancing act, the teeter-totter, the seesaw, until it's balanced. And that's the beauty, and that's the reason why my father's formula is so successful. He was able to come to this over many years of testing and trial and error to get all the right herbs, 18 of these herbs. And Dan Mowry, in his comments, he says, I can't believe that there's a fellow in North America that even understood this concept, let alone 75 years or something ago. And so that's what the product is that you have in your hands. And you folks who are listening to this call, who heard, for example, I wasn't sure and I was a little doubting, hey, everybody goes through that. The very, very best story of all that we've ever heard is one of our seasoned ambassadors, when he first started 20-some years ago, a lady called him to introduce him to it. He said no. The second time, no. The third time, she said, what if it works? Isn't that something? And that's what got him. What if it works? It's the same for you folks. Whatever you've heard, whatever other product you've tried, whatever has not worked, what if this one works? And you don't have to worry. If you finish the bottle and you haven't got some kind of a positive benefit, we still have our 90-day money-back guarantee. So just claim it. The good thing and the good news about that is no one has ever claimed it. So I guess it works. Well, I know it works. So does Betty, so does Kevin, and so do tens of thousands of other people. Some listening on the line tonight, and many, many tens of thousands more who have had their life saved or have had their life made an awful lot better, especially the quality of life. We've had calls here, and you should look at them. By the way, when you get the email with this call, don't forget, you scroll down, you're going to be able to click on a myriad of other audio success stories on anything, neuropathy, sugar, blood, name it, we've got it. And so be sure to click on those and then share them with people that you know who are suffering of that problem. They will thank you forever. And this is the season to be thankful. So for all of you who do celebrate Christmas, have a great, wonderful Christmas. Those of you who don't, have a great, wonderful time anyway. It is the season to be jolly. We hope that the virus problems haven't affected your family. Those of you who took advantage of our magnificent virus special, where we were encouraging people to drink more and hopefully build their immune system so they could protect themselves better. Well, I think a lot of people took advantage of it. They did drink more. They gave more to their family. And some of those free bottles they gave away freely to other people to help them. And that is a big, big, big plus. We thank you so very much for being like that, for paying it forward, and just for being there as part of the family and continuing this amazing, amazing movement. This is something, folks, that will continue. There are, I don't know, as I said on the call, 7 and 9/10 billions more people to talk to. So don't worry, a lot of people to talk to. And don't worry about those that say no or you're crazy, because they still say that to me. If you get 2 out of 10 and we're all doing it, we're going to cover an awful lot of ill people and make their day for them. Okay? So have yourself a great, great, great rest of the evening, a great week coming up. We are going to be continuing the calls right through Christmas. So every Sunday we'll have a great story for you. Our old pal Lenny is going to take a call on the 27th and on the 3rd of January, and I'm going to take a few days off. So he's a really great replacement for the Tonic Man. He knows his stuff and come to the calls. He's going to have guests. And of course, if any of you want to be a guest, you can still be a guest. Just let it be known and we'll get on the calls, okay? So have a great one. Thank you very much. And don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce. Good night for now.